Mom's voice shook when she called. Why didn't you tell us the bank was taking the house? I let her words hang in the air. She was panicking, and for once, I didn't rush to soothe her, because that house wasn't mine anymore. Not really. It was the house they assumed I'd gifted my sister. My investment property, my safety net, the one she'd been living in rent-free for 6 months without asking, without shame. And now, the letter taped to the door had finally caught their attention. Foreclosure notice, final warning. That was the moment they realized I hadn't been the fool. 6 months ago, I came home to find my sister's car in front of the property. I assumed she was visiting. Then I noticed a moving truck. Mom was standing by the door as if it were hers. She just needs a place to stay, she said. She's struggling. Unlike you, unlike me, that line stuck. It wasn't the first time I'd been punished for doing well. I had worked 2 jobs through college while my sister drifted from one relationship to the next, collecting sympathy like currency. Mom and Dad always bailed her out, rent, credit cards, even her car. But this time, they crossed a line. They didn't ask. They decided. You can afford it, Mom said. She's family, Dad added. And just like that, the property I had bought with years of saved over time and sleepless nights became her crash pad. No rent, no respect, just entitlement wrapped in family guilt. I didn't argue. That was my first move. Arguing would have given them control. Silence gave me time. I let her live there. I let them believe I had forgiven them. I even sent my sister a warm welcome message. Make yourself at home. She did. Within weeks, the garden was overgrown, the porch light broken, trash day forgotten. I drove by once a month, watched the place deteriorate, and smiled, because I wasn't planning on getting it back. I was planning to take everything they assumed I wouldn't. Step 1 was paperwork. Quietly, I transferred ownership, not to my sister, not my parents, but to a holding company I'd set up under another name. The mortgage remained in my name, but the new owner would manage everything. Then I stopped making payments. Mom didn't know, nor did my sister. They assumed I had it covered. I did, just not the way they expected. By the 3rd missed payment, the bank began sending notices. My sister ignored them, probably thinking they were routine letters. By month 4, the property was flagged for foreclosure. That's when I executed the next step. I contacted a developer who had been eyeing the land for months. The neighborhood was booming. Prices were climbing. We made a deal. Once foreclosure was complete, he would buy directly from the bank. I would still profit through the holding company. The irony? My sister would be evicted from a house that technically wasn't even mine anymore, and I would still be paid. Last week, Mom came by unannounced. I was in the kitchen when she waved a white envelope at me, face pale. Why didn't you tell us? She cried. They're taking her home. Her home? I almost laughed. I poured my coffee calmly. It's not her home, Mom. It was my investment. You made it hers. Mom's eyes welled with tears. You could have stopped this. I did, I said. I stopped paying for her mistakes. The silence that followed weighed more than any argument. Dad stood behind her, speechless. My sister wasn't there. She was probably still figuring out why the locks had changed that morning. Do I feel guilty? Not really. Every month they excused her. I watched her sink deeper into dependency. Every time they told me how lucky I was, I remember the nights I worked until 3 a.m. while she slept through life. This wasn't revenge born of spite. It was balance. Justice doesn't always arrive in shouting matches or courtroom battles. Sometimes it comes in quiet signatures, in perfectly timed silences, in watching people realize that your patience was never weakness. It was strategy. I drove past the house today. The lawn cleared, paint stripped, construction tape fluttering in the wind. Soon it will be gone, replaced by something newer, cleaner, mine again in a different form. Mom doesn't call much anymore. Dad avoids the topic. My sister moved in with a friend, still figuring things out. And me? I'm at peace. Because when they finally saw the letter, the one from the bank, they also saw what I'd known all along. Their compassion wasn't kindness, and mine wasn't cruelty. It was consequence. Sometimes the best revenge isn't reclaiming what was stolen. It's letting them drown in the comfort they assumed they deserved.